Today this video is about Venus or Shukra, and in this video I want to share with you some simple tips, remedies and everything related to Venus. Some very interesting facts, some of the facts that you might have never heard before, and try to keep it simple and logical at the same manner so that you have some key takeaways. Because Venus, in my opinion, is one of the most important planets of this age or the yuga that we are living in. In case you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, share this video with your friends, and keep yourself up to date with all the Vedic astrology videos and the transit videos as well that I continue to make for you. In case you wish to book a personalized consultation with me, you can check out the link to my website in the comment section and the process of reaching out to me. Now, towards the end of this video, I will also share with you some interesting facts how to study Venus in a chart in the most simple manner. That would start from the placement of Venus in your chart and how you can count different houses from Venus and what it really means. So watch this video till the end. Venus, who is also called Shukra, he is also called Daitya Guru. Venus is the planet of love, compassion, abundance, affection. Venus rules relationship. Venus rules all kinds of interaction in this world. How we come in contact with each other, with other people, Venus plays a very important role. Therefore, Venus plays a very important role in terms of work-related matters or overall the corporate culture. The way we present ourselves, how we carry ourselves, that is also something which Venus rules. Venus rules all kinds of vehicles and luxuries and anything that we use to make our life more easy, more comfortable, some of those things which save time. So for example, instead of washing our clothes with our hands, we use a washing machine which saves time and energy as well. So this is also linked to Venus. So all those things that are related to comfort. It's not only restricted to luxuries in life. So if you start thinking, there could be a lot of things. Venus from an element perspective rules water or jala. Therefore, it is very important in sustenance, in sustainability. And if you were to live in a sustainable world, Venus plays a very important role there. Venus rules natural second house and the seventh house of the zodiac belt, which is a sign of Taurus and the sign of Libra. Therefore, in the modern day, Venus plays a very important role. It rules the natural house of wealth, family, how and where we feed ourselves, those people who we would like to protect. Second house from the first house indicates what you feed yourself and how you are likely to grow and sustain in this world. And from a basic concept of astrology, second house from any house indicates its growth and sustenance. Venus also rules seventh house. Seventh house is the house of marriage. It is also the house of war. Therefore, in terms of relationship, whether we are breaking relationships or making relationships, Venus plays a very important role. And this is the year when there will be greater focus in terms of relationship. Venus is related to procreation. That means Venus plays a very important role in birth of children. Children are the creation of love, affection, compassion. This is a known fact. Therefore, fifth house from where your Venus is placed plays a very important role in predicting the birth of children. And Venus's connection with your seventh lord in the chart, how it is connected, where it is placed from the seventh lord, plays a very important role in determining how sustainable your relationship will be or your marriage would be. Now, Venus is called the Guru. He is called the Daitya Guru. There are two Gurus in astrology. One is Jupiter, which is Deva Guru. The other is Venus, which is Daitya Guru. Now, we need to understand the luminaries here, which is the Sun and the Moon. Sun and the Moon play a very important role in Vedic astrology because Sun is the father, Moon is the mother. One is about authority, the other is about compassion and care. If we look at the order of planets, which starts from Sun, because Sun rules Sunday as far as the weekday is concerned, and the order is we have Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, and after Saturn we have Rahu and Ketu. Now, if we look at fifth from Sun, we come to Jupiter. This means Jupiter is considered to be the Guru of Sun. And if we look at fifth from Moon, we come to Venus. Therefore, Venus is the Guru of Moon. Sun is a day-strong planet. Moon is a night strong planet. Therefore, there is a derivation of Devaguru and Daityaguru. Jupiter is the guru of Devatas and Venus is the guru of Daityas. Both play a very important role in terms of knowledge. Jupiter is all about traditional knowledge, lineage. Venus rules all the kinds of modern knowledge, upskilling, short executive courses, certificate courses, and things that are very much practical in nature. Now, the deity that is associated to Venus is Shakti or Durga. One thing which is very important from a remedial perspective is that most of the time Venus related remedies can be done in the evening as well. If it is any kind of mantra, puja or prayers, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is an ideal time for any remedy related to Venus. Now let us understand, there is Sun, who is the king of all grahas. Sun is also represented by a lion. Who rides the lion? It is Durga, it is Shakti that rides the lion. And it is said that 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the time when Durga or Shakti is extremely powerful and beneficial. Mantras related to Venus or Shukra could be done in the evening as well. It is highly beneficial. Another interesting fact is that both Jupiter and Venus are considered very important for Vedic astrology. In order to learn astrology, in order to become a good astrologer, one must have a beneficial and strong Jupiter as well as Venus in chart. Particularly, both of them play a very important role if they are well placed in your Navamsha or the D9 chart, which is the chart of your past life karmas. Having a well disposed Venus or Jupiter there is extremely beneficial for an individual. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. It gets exalted in the sign of Pisces, which is natural 12th house. It gets debilitated in the sign of Virgo, which is the natural 6th house. Therefore, one of the remedies to strengthen Venus is, since it gets exalted in the sign of Pisces, which is natural 12th house, that is linked to feet. So a simple remedy is to keep your feet clean and hygienic. That could really strengthen your Venus. Venus is Rajasic in nature, but it is not a malefic. That means it is the giver of those kind of comforts which make your day-to-day life easy, because it gets debilitated in the sign of Virgo. It does not like daily routine. It does not like to work hard on a day-to-day basis. It needs machines. It needs things that make life easy and convenient. Let's understand another interesting fact. Venus has been given a Mahadasha of 20 years. Most individuals, they want Venus Mahadasha to come in their life because from a nature perspective, it is a beneficial Mahadasha as perceived by most people. Though I say that all Mahadashas are mixed. Now, what is the message of having Venus being given the highest number of years, that is 20 years? The message is very clear that God, the Almighty, our Creator, wants us to focus most of the time in our lives on love, affection, compassion, and building relationship and harmony with other people. This is a very clear message and we must understand. Venus is lustful, but at the same time, it is classy. It rules air travel. You might be good at something. You might be best at something. That is something which is seen by Jupiter, because that is a giver of knowledge in terms of enhancing and building your capabilities. Now, whether you will be able to make money, the deciding factor is Venus. Venus must be supportive in the chart in order to ensure that you have any kind of Dhana Yoga or Wealth Yoga that is associated in your chart, whether that will fructify or not. That is the most important supporting factor to ensure that if you're good at something, you'll be able to earn a living or make money from it. Let's understand some of the food items that are associated to Venus. Venus is linked to all kinds of sour foods. Let me keep things very simple for you, which include the most common type of sour foods include yogurt, lemon. Now, a simple tip or a remedy is, if Venus plays an important role in your chart, for an ill-placed Venus, or in order to strengthen Venus, if it is gaining lower points as far as its overall bala is concerned, we recommend that you must consume sour foods in order to strengthen your Venus and in making the most of it from a wealth perspective. The color that is associated with Venus, there are a number of colors here. It includes white. Any kind of lighter colors that have a shine or a bling are very closely associated to Venus. This includes silver as well. This includes gray, that is shiny. Nowadays, there is a trend of sparkle clothes or clothes with a lot of bling. That is also something which is associated to Venus. Please remember, Venus is the brightest of all the planets in the night sky. Brightest of all the planets in the night sky. Therefore, any bright colors are associated to Venus. And people who have a strong Venus, they like to experiment and explore a lot with colors, particularly with vibrant colors. Gems and jewelry are also ruled and governed by Venus. Therefore, from an astrological point of view, whenever I would go ahead and recommend a gem or a jewel for my client, I would need to see the placement of Venus and how it is placed, whether it is playing a supportive role or not. That is the final deciding factor to ensure whether a particular gem would be beneficial for you or not. Now, this was all about Venus. Now, I want to spend a couple of minutes in terms of talking about what it means to have Venus being placed in a particular house in your chart, what it really represents, and how you study and understand different houses from the placement of your natal Venus. Now, wherever Venus is placed in your chart, whatever house, first through the 12th house, that represents your spirit in the relationship, your attitude in the relationship, and what it really means for you. So for example, if your Venus is placed in the 5th house, that means you have a very futuristic approach as far as relationship matters are concerned. If your Venus is placed in the 8th house, you have a secretive approach as far as your relationship is concerned. If your Venus is placed in the 10th house, which means there's a very karmic approach and an action-oriented approach, and your spirit is very much action-oriented as far as your attitude is concerned. So it is primarily the spirit and relationship. Second from Venus is all about what you get. And this is related to significations of Venus, which is love, abundance, luxury, relationships, harmony. Whether you would get that or not, what are the kind of planets that are there, how is that house being impacted, that is something which we must understand. Third, from where your Venus is placed, it is all about hopes, it is all about your aspirations, it is all about your dreams, certain things that you want to do. Therefore, it plays a very important role. Now, Venus is luxury. Third, from any planet or any house, indicates growth. So it indicates growth in terms of all your material success and comfort and what you really aspire to be in life more than anything else. This is the growth of your inner self more than anything external. 4th house, from where your Venus is placed in your chart, determines the real happiness, mostly in relationship matters, in terms of your harmony in life, your relationship with the opposite sex, particularly with your partner or your spouse. This also from a work perspective, since Venus plays a very important role in corporate life, because Venus is all about interaction between people. Therefore, from that point of view, it plays a very important role, because that is how we influence other people when there are interactions, trading, where businesses happen, where negotiations happen, buying and selling happen, any kind of transactions that are going on. And 4th, from your Venus, signifies those people who work for you. So any remedies related to people who work for you, if you have a business, that is something which should be considered and should be fixed. 5th house from Venus is all about progeny. We see childbirth from that. Besides the 5th and the 9th house of the natal chart, that is most important to understand. Now, apart from progeny, it is also what you give back to the society in terms of teaching others, in terms of sharing your knowledge, wisdom, and experience with other people. And this is also seen from 5th from your natal Venus. 6th house from Venus, from a karmic perspective, it talks about the sorrows or the kind of disappointments that you're likely to give to others. So that has to be carefully read, and from a remedial perspective, very important to understand how this will play a role in your day-to-day relationships, particularly with your partner. So in case you have a benefic planet in 6th from Venus, it'll be better. And if you have a malefic planet from 6th from your Venus, this could really bring some sort of trouble, and that should be fixed by a remedy position. Now, therefore, it also becomes the house of obstacles when it comes to any Venus related matters, because the human needs are unlimited. And in spite of how much we desire or we get, we want more. So it becomes and house of obstacles. We also see gateway to heaven or the path to heaven from 7th from Venus. That is also indicative of very good karmas. 8th house from Venus. 8th from any house is about sudden events, sudden ups and downs. It is about sorrow. This is the kind of sorrow that we get in terms of relationship matters, in terms of matters where other people are involved. 9th house from your natal Venus is very important because it indicates knowledge, more of higher learning related to the modern world. It indicates wealth, how your capacity would be in terms of making wealth. and fortune, particularly associated to Venus related matters, which is relationship. In case you have a strong 9th house from your natal Venus, if you've got benefic planets there, if you have a positive influence, if the Lord is well placed, this could be a great supporting factor even if your Venus is ill placed in the chart. And 50% of the time, a remedy from a relationship point of view can come from this house. 10th house from your natal Venus, how it is placed in the chart. In relationship with your managers, with your leaders, supervisors, this is the house you need to watch out for, the kind of dasha, antardasha which you're running, and the remedy would come from here. 11th house from Venus. 11th house is all about gains. Where your Venus is placed, if you count 11th houses from that house, it is all about gains with regards to relationship. Whether you would gain in relationship, whether you would really grow that relationship, because 11th is also one of the Upachaya house, the highest Upachaya house. So that must be understood carefully. And lastly, 12th from Venus is all about losses. So in case there is a malefic that is placed 12th from the Venus, that could bring a lot of trouble and struggle as far as relationship matters are concerned, even if your Venus is well placed in the chart. And that is something one must be cautious about. Having a natural benefic such as Jupiter, Mercury, Moon is better to have 12th from Venus instead of having, let's say, a Saturn or a Mars or even Rahu or Ketu. That can really bring a lot of problems as far as relationship matters are concerned, and this must be remedied appropriately. So this was a nice, simple, short, sweet video on Venus. And I must remind you of one thing, that Venus plays a very important role because there'll be a greater focus on relationship, harmony, and bringing peace in your life first before you bring peace in the world. I hope Venus continues to shower blessings, love, abundance, peace, and harmony in our lives with a lot of wealth. Thank you very much. God bless you all.